and welcome back to the Gaming Podcast. Man, it feels good to be back. Ed, how are you today?
I'm doing really good. I'm just chilling, ready to get this podcast started. Just got done eating some dinner. So yeah, I'm good to go. What about you?
Man, it's been a while. I've been out of pocket for the last couple weeks.
You
A little
have.
vacation, a little rest. But it feels real good to be back and starting to record.
Awesome. Well, you got to go on vacation. You got to get away sometimes and then just come back feeling refreshed and ready to go. But I'm glad you had a good
Absolutely.
vacation. But glad you're back so we can continue this podcast.
Heck yeah, I'm excited. I've been playing a lot of games, been watching a lot of game stuff, the travel and everything. So man, I'm ready to talk about it and get into it.
Oh yeah, same here. So let's do this thing.
Heck yeah. Man, let's it's been a while. I mean, this is episode 6 now if you've been listening for a little bit. Episode 1 we talked about games that we were playing. I want to bring that up again since it's been a month and a half now or almost 2 months. But Ed, what are you playing right now?
What I am playing right now hasn't changed. I'm still playing Tears of the Kingdom. I've made a
Oh
little
yeah.
more progress. I've defeated 2 temples out of the 4. So, I'm making progress. Still a
There you
lot to do. We'll get it beat one day. So,
One day. I mean, I'm taking that as a slow burn game.
mm,
I'm exploring. I'll put a couple hours into it, beat a temple, and then maybe go play something else. I mean, that game is so massive. I'm gonna get so burnt out if I just try to put
mhm,
every ounce of time into that game.
understandable. Yeah, no, I'm definitely at the point I think where I might have to play something else just so I don't get the burnout. I love Tears of the Kingdom. I love Zelda, but it's just getting to the point where it's like I think it's time to just take a break and then come back after playing something else. Because yeah, I don't want to get burnt out on one of
No.
my favorite game series. So we'll see. It's just trying to figure out what that game is that I want to play.
Oh, there's so many out there. My backlog is massive and it keeps growing. So there, there's a bunch of games for sure.
Oh yeah, it's basically a never-ending log, is what it comes down to.
Yeah, exactly. And going into one of mine, like I wanted to take a break from Tears of the Kingdom as well. I played a bunch. It's great. I just again don't want to get burnt out on it. But then the game I pick is another massive, huge 100+ hour game, which is Diablo 4, which
Diablo
by the way is
4.
incredible. I love Diablo 4. But yeah, that's also another massive, crazy game. There's so many more dungeons and quests and little secret tunnels you can go into, all the different characters you can do. That game's almost never ending as well. So
Yeah, no, yeah, you're crazy for doing that, but it's okay. How many hours have you put into the new Diablo game?
I'm probably about, I'd say, in the 15 to 20 range.
Okay, so you've done a little damage.
Yeah, I'm at like level
Mhm.
32 right now.
Oh, wow.
I'm still in the first area. I'm just going through and doing as many of the side quest missions. One thing that I found is really, really cool with a lot of the side dungeons and side quests, or especially the
Mm,
dungeons, is that actually each dungeon will give you a different enhancement to your character. So if you want to complete every single dungeon, you can, or you can go through the dungeons and figure out what enhancements or things will add to your character, to your build, so you're not just going through and just beating dungeons for no reason. Besides just getting loot and getting experience,
mhm.
uh, you can go in and actually get specific perk that you're looking for with certain dungeons. So I thought that was a really cool thing that they
That's
added into.
super cool. Yeah, I know Diablo, it's not a game that I've really played. I've played Diablo 3, not 3, 2. It's been a while. I don't remember. I think it was we were still all in college when we played it, but I didn't play it much. It's a game that I want to play more and learn more about because I've heard so many things from people and from you just talking about how amazing of a game it is and just all the different things that you can do. It seems like a really cool game. So definitely a game that I need to get into. I know I'm currently borrowing your Diablo 3. I just
You
haven't
gotta
played it
play it.
yet. But
I
maybe that'll be the next game. Might as well. You're doing Diablo 4. Might as well do Diablo
might as
3.
well. I mean, I'll be on Diablo 4 for a long
Yeah.
time, so I really liked Diablo 3. Diablo 3 was awesome. It actually plays really well on the Switch, which is the copy that I gave you. I've played it on the PC. I ended up beating it again on the Xbox One, and then I bought the Switch version a few years ago just to have on like an airplane ride or something. And it's still a phenomenal game and
And
runs really well. That's a really great way to play it.
oh yeah. Great way to pass the time on a flight or just
Oh, absolutely.
Diablo, it's Blizzard, right?
It is Blizzard.
Okay, cool. I was just like, I think it's Blizzard.
Oh yeah, they did a phenomenal job. Even the graphics look amazing. The cutscenes, the voice acting, everything about that game. It is just it's massive. It's everything you would hope a sequel or the fourth one in the entry to be since the last game. I think Diablo 3 came out in either 11 or 12. So it's been a while.
It has been a
It's
while.
definitely a really good game for the amount of time they put into it. Definitely worth the wait.
So what you're saying is if anyone hasn't picked up the new Diablo, they should go pick it up and play
Oh,
it.
absolutely. If you're a fan of those type of games, the old school like point and click games like Baldur's Gate, even the old Diablos, definitely worth the pickup. Even if you're looking at trying to play something a little bit different, but you like action, you like building out characters, getting new loot, exploring new dungeons, a phenomenal storyline. The bad guy in this is fantastic. Lilith is scary as crap and is incredible. The lore that they've created for this character and for this realm, they knocked it out of the park. Fantastic game.
Awesome. Well, I was also going to say, with that leading into the whole odd gaming, if you haven't subscribed to our podcast, please go subscribe. We're
Definitely.
going to be putting out lots of amazing content. You can listen to us on Spotify, iTunes, and a majority of the podcasting streaming platforms. So, yeah, check us out, subscribe. We have an Instagram, we're posting stuff on there. We'll definitely start posting more stuff, but check us out. We've got lots of fun stuff planned.
Definitely. Yeah, we've got a bunch of ideas that we've been talking about and a lot of things we've been working on behind the scenes to make the production value even better, come up with some really cool events that we're going to do, a lot of cool episode ideas. So there's a lot of things in the work definitely coming into the end of the summer and the fall for this year.
Hmm.
And even one of the games I'm playing right now kind of teases a little bit of something we're planning on doing later on down the road. So I've been playing the original God of War again. So there's actually going to be a event that we're going to be planning actually a little bit later on in the year with this game. So stay tuned for more information. It's in kind of the infant stages right now, but definitely stay tuned. We're going to give you a lot of information. It's going to be a really, really cool event.
Yeah, super cool. As he said, we're not going to say much, but just continue listening. It's going to be really cool what we've got planned, and hopefully it comes together the way we want it to. Because if it does, it's going to be super amazing. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Absolutely, we're excited for it, and we'll give you all some updates through Instagram as well as through the podcast in the next few weeks
Hmm.
and months leading up to it. So, but God of War, awesome game though.
Yes, awesome game. Playing it too. But yeah, I think we should get this thing started.
Man, let's do it. So we've been gone for a little bit. So there's in June, there's been a bunch of kind of the quote unquote E3 press conferences that have happened. So you've had PlayStation, you have Nintendo Direct, Xbox, even a dedicated one for Starfield. So a ton of games have been announced and released, and more gameplay footage has come out for a lot of games coming out in the rest of the year, but also coming into 24. But I really want to talk about the games that you're excited for the remainder of the year, games that you thought that you were already excited for that just got you even more hyped, or games that kind of flew under the radar or didn't even know about until the last couple weeks, and now you're super excited for them.
Yeah, so for me, a few that I'm excited for. Let's see, the Nintendo Direct conference was what, about not even a week ago, maybe not even a week ago
I think it
from the.
was as we're recording this, probably I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday,
Mhm. So
so less than a week.
So yeah, so not too long ago, game that I'm excited for that's coming out is gonna be the new Super Mario Brothers Wonder. Looks super
Yes.
cool. It's the old, more kind of that 3D, 2D side scroller type game. You can play up to 4 people with your friends, but it just looks super cool. You've got the Wonder Flower, I believe is what it's called, that causes these crazy things. It's all trippy, but like
Mm-hmm.
the, I guess, tunnels come alive and it just, I guess, random stuff happens. I guess what I could tell, you're not really sure what's going to happen, just things happen. Looks super cool, super fun. It's got the bright Mario colors and that you expect from a Mario game. It just looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. You can be an elephant, so that looks really cool. Don't know all what you can
It
do,
looks
but
super cool.
definitely excited for that game. Those are always fun games to play in. They're one of those that it doesn't take a lot of brain power to do. So you
Mm-hmm.
can just kind of come home after a long day of work, just I'm sure pop it in and just play. So definitely looking forward to that. And I would say another one that I'm looking forward to is the new Starfield game for
Yeah.
Xbox. So very excited about that. I hope it's everything they say it's going to be because it looks massive and I'm excited. I know there's been times where they've told us about these games that are going to come out and then they come out and they're not what we hoped. So fingers are crossed. But if they do it right, I think it can be a great game and they'll probably do some. I don't know. It's just going to be an amazing game, hopefully. So we'll see what happens. But what about you?
Man, talking about Starfield, that direct was incredible.
Mhm.
45
Oh,
minutes
yeah.
going really in depth. It's the first time we've really seen a bunch of information and gameplay and kind of the mechanics that are built into the game. Yeah, that like Fallout 76 wasn't that good. That was Bethesda. At
Mhm.
the end of the day, they're mainline titles. When you talk about Fallout 4, you talk about Skyrim, even the Diablo games that have, or not Diablo, the Doom games that have come out. Those are all phenomenal main series for Bethesda, and they always knock those out of the park. Uh,
Mhm.
if they put this much time and effort into the game, I think it's going to be phenomenal. The only thing I know that's really kind of freaking people out is it's given the same vibes as No Man's Sky did about 7 years
Mhm.
ago, where it's this big, expansive, massive exploration style game, but there wasn't a lot to do within it. It
Mhm.
seems like they're really calming into that and saying, okay, there's a bunch of things we can do with the game. You can build your ships. There's a bunch of weapons. There's a bunch of things. Because I think I saw something a few days ago about it that said only there's about 1,000 planets in the game, and only about 10% are going to actually have life on them.
Yeah, I saw that I think yesterday. So yeah,
Yeah.
10% of the planets. So that's about 100 planets out of 1,000. It's
Yep.
still a lot of planets though.
It's
100. Yeah.
a ton of planets. I
That,
mean, 100's still great with life,
oh yeah.
and just depends on how they do it. It depends on how they structure the game. I mean, Bethesda is like the best when it comes to open world games with side quests, with main story, with keeping you engaged in these massive maps. So I'm not too worried about it. I know people are freaked out a little, but I think that's just because of the No Man's Sky
Yeah.
incident that happened. But you talk about Fallout and Skyrim, especially
Mhm.
Oblivion, any of those games, those are massive maps.
Oh yeah.
And you talk about how much there is when it comes to mountains and caves and dungeons and cities and towns and everything there, but you don't lose interest in the game. And I
Mhm.
think they're going to take that expertise and really do a great job, the planets and the exploration aspect of it
Yeah, no, I think
because
it'll
of the
be
experience they have.
oh yeah, no, I think it'll definitely be a great game. I'm excited for it. Just a few more months until it comes out, as I believe September
September.
is.
Hmm.
So not too much longer. So we'll have our hands on it soon. Then we'll play it, and it'll be another one of those games. I'll probably get lost, and it'll take me
Oh,
9 million years to beat. Any
definitely.
other? Yeah, any other games you're excited for?
Man, there's a few. The one I've been excited for, but once I saw the gameplay trailer, I got overhyped for it, which was Spider-Man 2
I had a
for the
feeling you
PlayStation.
were going to say that.
Oh my gosh, the symbiotic suit with Venom on Spider-Man and the abilities you have, and then mixing in like the co-op aspect with Miles Morales, uh,
Hmm.
and Spider-Man's changing a little bit because of the Venom suit.
Hmm.
Oh, it looks amazing! I cannot wait to play an amazing Spider-Man game playing with the Venom capabilities. With the symbiote suit, that game's gonna be amazing. Take my money. I was looking at collector's editions this morning about it because the collector's edition is amazing. That statue is gorgeous.
I haven't even seen what the collector's edition
Oh,
looks like. I'm
it's
gonna look
this
at it right now.
yeah, it's this big statue. For people listening, big statue with Venom in the middle, and you've got two little smaller statues attached to it. Which one on one side is Spider-Man, one on the other side is Miles Morales, and they're attacking him from different angles with their webs shooting out. It is a beautiful statue.
I think I got it pulled up right. Oh wow,
Yeah,
that is amazing.
yeah, it is gorgeous. I
Uh,
really, really liked it.
oh yeah, that is awesome. I
Yeah, these
want that.
collector's editions, like, I felt like we've gone through a wave of collector's editions where they were awesome, really in, like, the beginning 10s era, and then kinda fell off. They just kinda got bad, not as good, not worth it, and now some of the things they're coming out with just look amazing, and that is probably one of them that'll end up in the collection.
Oh, for sure. And you've
It
got
is
that
gorgeous.
display, so you can just set it up.
I need a spot for it.
Yeah, need a
That's it.
spot and some
So
spotlights.
oh,
Just
definitely.
directly
Yeah,
shine.
that is a really cool statue.
Yeah, and also just the past two Spider-Man games. They are just amazing games. They are so fun. Like just the things you can do, the open worldness, the being able to swing where you want. You just feel like you're straight up Spider-Man when you're playing those. So great games. Highly recommend if you haven't played any of the other Spider-Man games that have come out for PlayStation.
Yeah.
Pick them up. They're worth it.
Worth it. And you can play them on PC now. You can play both the original
Oh,
Spider-Man and Miles Morales on PC. So there's no excuse not to play those games.
yeah. So pick them up. Go play them.
Pick
They'll
them
be
up.
there
They
for
are
you.
phenomenal games. And hey, beat them before the new Spider-Man 2 comes out because I
Mhm.
know that is going to be absolutely worth it. And I'm extremely excited for that one. But another one that this is a series I've liked a lot from the beginning. I bought the original game back in 2007. We've actually talked about it on a couple episodes of the podcast, but
Hmm.
that's Assassin's Creed. And this is the
Yeah,
new one, Assassin's Creed Mirage, which looks awesome. They're really going back to the old school,
heck
kind of
yeah.
stealthy, smaller area, not open world Assassin's Creed. The gameplay looks incredible. I'm pretty hyped for this game. If it turns out the way it looks and goes back to the kind of the true form of the Assassin's Creed franchise, this will definitely be up my alley. Because the last few have been good. Valhalla, Origins, those are great, but they're 80 to 120-hour
Oh yeah.
open world romps. And like we were saying, we don't have as much time for those. We want to get into them, we want to play them, but with the amount that come out, we can only dedicate so much time to a
Mhm.
you know 50 plus hour game like something like Assassin's Creed Valhalla or Origins. So going back to something like Mirage, or going to how Mirage is going back to kind of true to form, I'm really excited for that one.
Oh yeah. No, I'm excited for that game too. That the old original Assassin's Creed games
Yeah.
are really good. And
I
obviously,
love
I love those too because I came from playing Prince of Persia and those were games that I really love. So yeah, the Assassin's Creed, great games. So that I'm so happy they're going back to more of their roots, the origin kind of type thing of where it all started in Assassin's Creed as far as gameplay and everything goes. So I
yeah,
I think it'll be a great game. And I forgot
yeah,
one game that I was excited for. Is the new Star Wars Outlaw open world Star Wars takes
oh,
place
yeah.
between Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. Looks awesome. I don't know too much about what's all going to be in it, but just open world Star Wars sounds amazing.
I
So
fully agree. That game looked
there's that.
incredible. The gameplay and graphics look awesome. I
Hmm.
love the open world aspect of it,
Hmm.
where there's a lot of land battles, there's a lot of firefights and everything. We can also get into a ship and literally
Hmm.
fly the ship all the way through the atmosphere into space. They I was listening to a couple different interviews with some of the developers, and they were saying they wanted it to be just this open world you can get lost in a game. Like if you see a ship flying, go follow it. It's probably another mission or some sort of side quest that might pop up, or a possibility to get some more loot or experience. The game looks massive. The game looks amazing. I'm really, really hoping they do a great job with it.
Hmm.
But right now, with just the gameplay, I'm really excited for that one. That was definitely on my list too.
Oh yeah, but no, that's super cool that you can literally just follow a ship and then end up, doing some sort of side quest, main
Mm.
quest, whatever. That's awesome. So definitely excited. Don't remember if that game has a date yet, but
I don't remember. It probably does, but I do not remember.
yeah. So that'll be a game that'll be picked up as well. Star Wars. It's a fun universe. Lots of cool characters and
Yeah,
stories. I know you really love Star Wars. You've got a lightsabers collection, which is really awesome.
I've got a
So
couple of them.
just a couple, just one or two,
Couple, yeah,
just
you
a
know,
couple, you know.
little here and there,
Yep.
But yeah, it's 2024
Okay.
for Outlaws. They don't have an exact date on it, so
So we still got a while.
yeah, we still got a little bit of time.
That's
But
okay.
hopefully, we'll see some stuff. Maybe towards the end of the year, maybe another trailer or some more awesome gameplay during the Game Award show at
Mhm.
the end of the year. Maybe some of that. So definitely looking forward to that one. But I
Oh,
had one more as well.
yeah, go for it.
I was definitely, and this if it wasn't on your list, it definitely will be Alan Wake 2.
That is on my list. I'm sorry.
Okay,
I mean,
I
I'm all
choked you
choked
up a
up.
little bit,
Yeah,
Man, we
Alan
gotta
Wake
wait
too.
so long for that game, so I choked
Yeah,
you up a little.
yeah, I'm all choked up now. Yes, Alan Wake 2
Yeah,
looks awesome. I know we both love the first Alan Wake,
love Alan.
like a adventure horror game, super trippy.
Yep.
Um, definitely played it at like 3 in the morning, which makes it even more terrifying.
Oh, that's a great night game.
Oh
If you
yeah.
haven't played the Alan Wake games, it really survives on kind of the horror aspect of novels. So
Mhm.
he's a writer, and so it's very well written. It's very well directed. The pacing is phenomenal, but a lot of the battling and everything is based off light and flashlight. So your
Mhm.
flashlight's kind of your main weapon within the game, and light's what's kind of scaring all the enemies away. But you still have battery life to worry about and everything else. So you're kind of walking through this. It's kind of like a Dead Space situation, but
Mhm.
no weapons. And the game is just done incredibly.
Mhm.
It's hard to explain how good that game is and how that game is, but definitely play it. It's not a crazy long game. I think it's like what 8 or 10 hours to
Yeah,
complete.
I think I remember I
Uh,
beat it pretty quick within maybe
yeah,
couple days or just maybe within a I don't remember, but yeah, it didn't take me long.
No, it's not a crazy long game, but it is one that will suck you in. So
Mhm,
definitely set some time if you're going to play that game. But I digress. Alan Wake 2 looks incredible. Didn't really get a ton of gameplay footage.
mhm,
Definitely got some. I know you're going to be playing as Alan Wake, and then I can't remember the name of the side character, but there's going to be a secondary main character as well as that you're going to play as also. So
mhm,
there are going to be two different kind of storylines that combine together with two different people that you're playing as, which is a really cool element. I believe she will have some weapons and guns.
mhm.
Uh, so it looks awesome. I can't wait to see more about it. I know it's coming out pretty soon. I think October maybe.
Yeah, definitely, one of those, games that I feel would come out around the Halloween
Yep,
during
October
spooky
17th.
season. Yep, spooky season.
Oh yeah.
So, play it, then have some spooky dookies,
Oh
and,
yeah, yeah. That's it.
have a great time. It definitely looks a lot darker than the first one was a dark game, literally, it was dark, but also just the story was dark too. But this one looks a lot like it'll probably be darker. Excited about it. Alan Wake, oh man, I'm sure I'll have nightmares and probably wanna sleep
Oh
with a
yeah.
light on or something after playing the second one. I need to play the first one again. It's been a little while, but yeah, I just need to pick it up and just play it again.
Yeah, I got it. I picked it up a few months ago. They had it on sale, I think, during either one of the Prime days or holiday sales or something. But
Mhm.
you can get it remastered for the PS5 and I believe Xbox too. But I got it on PS5 and I paid like $10 or $15 for it.
Oh, yeah.
The remaster, so definitely worth the pickup. You can play it on next gen consoles, so they definitely did some quality of life improvements to the graphics and everything there. So that's the way I'm going to replay it. I'm probably going to replay that probably closer to when it comes out, so probably in the September timeframe
Oh,
just
yeah.
so it's fresh in my mind when Alan Wake 2 comes out. But that might be my most anticipated game.
Mhm.
Either that or Spider-Man.
Oh,
One of
yeah.
those two. Those two are definitely in there for most anticipated.
So, lots of great games coming out, lots of games we're excited for. Now a few more, but I think we've said enough probably about all the games that are coming out, so we'll definitely be busy playing games. There's just so
There's
much amazing stuff coming out, so, I'm excited. The future of
me
gaming
too.
looks bright.
Man, I was watching some things the other day and people just talking about how 2023 might be one of the best gaming years of all time for the
Yeah.
amount of games that have come out and the amount of games that are coming out. It's going to rival some of the best gaming years for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Think about the games we've already been playing this year,
Mhm.
and we're only at the halfway point.
Oh, yeah.
And we just talked about 5 or 6 games that are just amazing. Like those are game of the year nominee games in any
Oh, yeah.
other year,
For sure, 100%.
and they're all coming out in the next 6 months. So
Oh,
it's absolutely crazy how good this year is. We have definitely been eating well as gamers this year. It has been phenomenal, and I can't wait for even more games.
I'm hoping this will kind of start like that. Colin, we were in college just that decade that had just like tons of amazing games. I'm hoping this is the start of it, where it's just we can look back and be like, oh yeah, the 2023 to 2034, whatever. It just
Yeah.
had all these amazing games. I'm hoping that we're going back to, especially with the collector's editions that are coming out for all these different games, are really just amazing. As
I
you're
think
speaking on
we
it. So,
definitely are. I mean, you talk about in the last month, you have Diablo 4 and Zelda Tears of the Kingdom come out within, a month of each other. Those are 2 massive heavy hitter games. And we still have Spider-Man and we still have Starfield. We still have a new Super Mario game coming out. We have WarioWare coming out.
Fable,
Assassin's
maybe.
Creed.
Fables, hopefully, maybe. That's
Fable, not this year.
not this year,
But
but
I'm really that will get me to buy an Xbox.
oh, yeah, yeah.
I love Fable. We've talked about it before on the podcast. Love Fable. I'm so excited for the Fable return.
Mhm.
I can't wait to get some gameplay and some more footage on that.
Oh,
And
yeah, same.
release date probably next year, but that will definitely get me to buy an Xbox.
Oh, yeah. So, lots of great things coming out. So excited. We'll definitely be busy between now and then when all these games come out, and we'll have played some great games. So,
Man.
yeah.
So many games. With all that and all the retro stuff that we're playing through and some of the
Mhm.
ideas that we have, there's a
Yep.
lot of games. We're definitely not gonna be struggling on the game
Yeah,
department for
being
the
a gamer is a full-time
year.
job, I'll tell you what.
Man, I know. Trying to struggle everything in and then do everything else,
Yeah, but
plus all these games coming out, plus all these other games. Yeah,
yep.
it's I love it.
But
I
someone has
absolutely
to do
love
it.
it. Hey, it's okay. I'm excited.
Me too.
Man,
So
so we're kind of talking about the past a little bit on retro games and games that we play. So we just talked a ton about new games coming out.
mhm.
But again, we're both retro gamers at heart. We
Yep.
grew up on, the SNES, the 64, the PlayStation, the Genesis. I mean, that's the stuff that made us fall in love with gaming.
Oh, yeah. It's our bread
But
and butter.
gaming back then was quite different
Mhm.
than what we have today. Some of the convenience things, some of the nostalgic things, even some things that were definitely we were kind of talking about it before the podcast. There's definitely some things that we miss about
Mhm.
the old days of gaming.
Oh,
But we
yeah.
really want to talk about and kind of in the main topic of the episode, odd gaming trends.
Mhm.
So these are things that us as 90s and 2000s gamers really had to do or experienced or maybe struggled with a little bit.
Mhm.
Um, as being gamers in that era that is really no longer either
Yep.
a problem anymore or no longer something that's there and something we kind of miss.
Yep.
So, Ed, I'll have you kick it off with one of yours, and let's
Yeah.
get into it.
Yeah, and also when we say, like, problems, it's not like anything super bad, it's just the way things were, but there was still, like, something about it that was really cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's just, 90s, this technology wasn't where it was at today and just with a bunch of things we have. So yeah, I'm excited to talk about this. But my first one is going to be going to rental places like Blockbuster or, the some people might know Hastings, but Blockbuster was my place that I went to get games. So I'm gonna go with yeah, rental movie places. That's just
Oh
not a
man.
thing anymore.
Oh, that was the highlight of a Friday night.
Oh yeah. Just
Was
think
going there and going to a rental store. We had one when I was around 8 or 9 at the time, and I lived in Alaska at the time, and there was a grocery store called Cars, and they had a whole rental section in the back. Rental movies, video games, all of it. But they
mhm.
also had all this food there. They have Chinese food, chicken fingers, jalapeno poppers, whatever you want. So on Friday nights, we go in there, everyone would get what food they wanted, everyone would pick out a movie and a game. We load up the van, go back, eat, and then just dive into whatever we got. Whether it was a movie, video game. This is one of the things I definitely miss.
Oh, 100%.
Like I know the digital age. I can sit on my butt on the couch. I can hit buy or rent or whatever, and it's there. But there's something about going in there and messing with the boxes
Oh,
and
yeah.
combing through all the games, and all you have knowledge on what game you're choosing is the box art and then the little tiny graphics on the back that show some gameplay footage. That's
Oh,
it.
yeah. Yeah.
And that's what you made your decision on. And there's no, I'm going to look at this review and I'm going to look up all these reviews online and go to Google and go to YouTube and see what people are saying. It was, this game speaks to me. I'm getting it.
Oh, yeah. It's just, back then, you mentioned it, we just didn't have the luxury of being able to buy games on, our consoles through their online stores or, just through your PC, whatever, just on the couch in your underwear. You actually had to get up and go and leave your house to do it. But it's okay because, when you're a kid and you're going to the movie rental store, video or game rental store, you knew it was going to be a great weekend.
Oh, definitely.
Like, there's just an excitement of going to the rental place like me, I'd go to Blockbuster was one I went to a lot when I was a kid, and I know not just Blockbuster, the other video rental places had it too, but just that smell when you
Mm,
walked in,
I was going to mention that.
there's just something about it's like a combination of popcorn and plastic videotape covers.
The
It
best.
it's the best. I can close my eyes and I can still just
I was
smell
gonna
it.
mention as soon as you said Blockbuster and rental store, that smell hit me immediately.
Oh, yeah. You just
Like,
walk
man,
in.
I think we need to make a candle of that.
Oh, yeah.
Rental store candle.
I would literally
It'd be
just
a
have
good
it lit, every single day, and I play video games, I'll feel like I'm in Blockbuster just playing video games, but it's just that smell, there's nothing like it. It's a comforting smell, it's almost like a little warm hug, it's just, it's just like a comforting thing, and it just takes me back to being 3, 4-year-old Ed, and then, there's that excitement, you go to that wall or that aisle, and you just see those video games, and they're just staring right back at you
Loved
ready
it.
for you to pick one up. And yeah, you stare at the box art. And then there's that sense of excitement and suspense because sometimes you go in and you know exactly what you want, but there's no guarantee you're going to get the game that you
Mhm.
want because someone might have already checked it out. and it could be days before you get that game, so you have to come back. So sometimes you have to have a plan B and just have another game in mind. But if not, there's the just kind of exploring your options and just seeing where the night's going to take you as far as renting a video game. It's just such a great experience that
It was.
we just don't have anymore. Oh man, if I can turn back time, as Cher would say, such a fun time.
It was. I think a lot of it is like, of course, getting the game was awesome and playing
Mhm,
the game over the weekend was great. But I think a lot of it was just how the store atmosphere was and the fact it
mhm,
was literally just you and the boxes of games.
mhm,
And your parents will leave you alone. They go get whatever movie they want for the evening, and they throw you in the basement or throw you in another room to play
mm.
your games while they watch their movie. And so it was just you and this aisle and wall of games.
Oh, yeah.
You choose whatever you want, and I think that is more than anything better than just even playing the game. Like, I
Mhm.
remember a bunch of the games we have, like, I'm literally getting goosebumps talking about that. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's just I love that aspect of it. I played so many other games I really probably wouldn't have played
Mhm.
because of rental stores.
Oh, yeah.
There's phenomenal PlayStation games that have some pretty good cult followings now, but they weren't popular.
Mhm,
They weren't games everyone was talking about at school. They weren't the Crashes. They weren't the Spyros.
mhm.
Stuff like I don't know if you've heard of a game called Toomba on the PS1.
I don't know, since I wasn't really much of a PlayStation. I don't
Yeah,
No, I
it's
didn't.
crazy 2D side-scrolling platforming game,
Mhm.
and there's like these crazy pigs, and you belly flop them, and you're this weird like shirtless guy with pink hair. It's wacky, it's crazy. Like I think that game, the first one goes for like 150, $200 right
Oh,
now.
wow.
Like it got a huge cult following, but that's a game I rented multiple weekends. That honestly I would have probably never played if it wasn't on that shelf and it just spoke. Like
Yeah.
it's different than the playground talk of, oh, you got to get Pokemon, you got to get this game.
Mhm.
Uh, it was just you and whatever game spoke to you at that moment.
Oh, yeah, and I think also just whenever you're renting a game and you're having to go because you only have so many days to play it, it
Yep,
added an extra challenge because you had to do everything in your power to try and beat it before you had to take it back. Like,
absolutely.
you made it your goal to beat that game, like, you just had to get in this mindset, like, "Okay, I have, like, a week or whatever," just depended on your rental store that you went to, how long you have it. You just had to tell yourself, "I'm gonna beat this game," and you would do everything in your power to play as much as you can and beat it before you had to take it back so you can play something
Definitely.
else. If not, you just have to, check it out again if your parents
Rent
would
it
let
again.
you.
Absolutely. Oh man, I do miss rental
Yeah.
stores. I'm trying to think of the last time that I really went to one as a kid.
I know we went to one while we were in college when Blockbuster was
Yeah,
closing.
Blockbuster's closing, and then we did have a Hastings, which was more
Hastings,
of a
yeah.
southern style. But they did rentals as well as they sold games and movies and books, and they had a coffee
Mhm,
shop. Really cool store, tons of nerdy, nostalgic stuff in there. But they ended up closing all their stores back in like
mhm.
2016.
RIP Hastings.
I know, but I did rent a lot of games in college too.
Oh, yeah.
At least my first couple years until they started getting rid of the rental shelf. But
Mhm.
dude, rental stores, man, it, there's something about, and this kind of leads into my next one. There's something about the adventure of the action of it too. Like I was saying, like the best part was standing in front of the aisle and
Oh,
looking at the
yeah.
game and trying to figure out what you wanted. But another thing, and this goes in my second one, another one that's just you looking at something is game manuals.
Mm,
So nowadays we don't get manuals.
nope.
And
You would
this was one of those things that you go out, you buy a game, and as soon as you get in the car, maybe you're heading home, maybe you're going to another errand with your parents, lunch, whatever. You're unwrapping that game real quick. You can't play it because it's
Yep.
a PS2 game, a GameCube game, an N64 game, whatever it is. But you open that manual up and you just start going through it.
Mhm.
And it's the most reading you do all week. I mean,
Oh,
school reading, who
100%.
cares? You're reading that manual and you're going through that manual and looking at all the cool things and all the cool moves and the different features that are in the game, and you're just building this game in your head for however long the ride is home or however long you're out doing errands or visiting your aunt or whatever, boring kid thing that you had to do that day with your parents. That was the one thing that just got you through it.
Oh,
Was
yeah.
I can't play this game. This game looks amazing. And these manuals back then were well detailed. They were thick. They gave you a bunch of information. There's some phenomenal manuals out there too that really dive into the game.
Oh yeah, they killed a few trees to make these manuals, which
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, but it's absolutely
oh
great.
yeah.
I don't. What do you think about manuals? How is your relationship with them?
Um, I thought they were awesome. It just is like a teaser before you actually played the game. I don't know. There's just something about like you just like I said, you take off the plastic, the seal, and then you just open it up, and inside's this like thick booklet
Yep.
about the game, and it kind of tell you, you know, what the game's about, all the pictures in it, and just I don't know, it just got you ready for the game and kind of put a picture in your head, as you said, of what's going to take place. It was really cool experience because you know these days manuals aren't really a thing, and if there is a manual, it's like 2 pages long, and that's about
It's
it. And
telling
there's
you,
no
the
cover, no
highlights.
nothing on it. It's boring.
Yeah. Yeah.
But back then, like, there's just something about the manual. It's just, I don't know, it's just one of those things that
I miss it.
I
I
miss
miss
it.
it.
It's just, I don't know, it's hard to explain. Besides, it's just one of those things that you just did as a kid. You'd read it, stare at the picture, and I would go through a manual like 5 times before I got home,
Yep.
just because you just like, ooh, this is cool. I want to look at this picture again, or I want to read this again, just because it just
Yeah.
got you excited.
I mean, there wasn't like we didn't have smartphones, we didn't have iPads, we didn't have much of the internet as we know it today, where you can just go on YouTube and say, "Hey, this game, give me stuff about it,"
Hmm.
and you can watch hours and hours and hours of gameplay and live streams and all this stuff. That wasn't a thing back in the 90s.
Nope.
All you had was really whatever trailer you've seen on TV for a commercial,
Hmm.
whatever demo you've played at like a different store or disc or whatever, and your imagination and the pictures and the box art. That's what you have to go on in the game. And I thought that made the hype for the game even more. And I think it gave an appreciation for the game development, but also the game itself.
Oh yeah.
Like nowadays, I mean, I'll go on Steam sales now and buy 20 games for, 25 bucks or whatever when they have sales. And that's great. And I've got all these games. I don't know how many I'm ever going to play, but I've got them all. But you just click it, you add it to your cart, it downloads, it's done.
Hmm.
There's not that anticipation. There's not that build up. There's not that as much excitement as there was, back in the day when you didn't have all this multimedia.
Hmm.
And that was really kind of where the manual tied in. But that really goes into the next one. I touched on it just a little bit, was the demos and the
Oh,
demo like discs or the demo
oh yeah.
cartridges.
I almost put that down for demo disc, but I didn't. But yeah.
Yeah. Man, I remember in the PS1 era, this I played so many demo discs, and my favorite ones, believe it or not, came from Pizza Hut. They were a PlayStation one, but when you'd get pizza, and I can't remember what time frame, it was definitely mid to late 90s, you would get PlayStation demo discs. And
Hmm.
they'd usually have anywhere from 6 to 10 games. They might have some behind the scenes documentary or something on them, but they were awesome. That and then I was a big PlayStation person, so PlayStation Underground
Hmm.
magazine also did demo discs in all their magazines each month, and I would play some of those constantly. And there's a lot of times where I would never even buy the game,
Hmm.
uh, whether it just never worked out, or the parents wouldn't buy it, or I just never got interested in it to the point that I wanted to buy that over other games that came out. The demo disc is how I experienced certain games,
Hmm.
and that's something you don't see much anymore.
Oh
Like,
no.
how many times did you get stuck in a Walmart in the gaming aisle because of a demo?
Um, all the time.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you have your neck cricked all the way up, looking at it. It feels like it was 10 feet tall, and this little 13-inch CRT
Oh
TV,
yeah.
and you're just playing through the GameCube demo disc
Oh yeah.
and forget that you came with your parents. You forget about your little sister, your little brother. That's all gone. You're playing whatever demo it is right then
Oh
and
yeah.
there.
It's like the moment I walked into Walmart, my parents, they knew exactly where I was going. I
Yep.
didn't have to tell them. They just knew where I would, and I would just like sprint to the video game area because one, you are trying to make it before someone else got there or some other kid because once you're there, you're not moving. And it was horrible when you had a kid in front
Uh,
of you.
and that kid always had a stuffy nose and
Oh
would
yeah.
wipe it on the controller every time.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't care where you were. That kid always was sniffling and would wipe his snotty little nose on that controller and take it up for hours.
Hmm. And
And it's like,
and
where's your parents,
I
kid?
know. It's like, go get out of here.
Yeah, get out.
You don't deserve to play these demos. And the nice thing was too with with, like, going to Walmart or just, you know, Target, whatever store like those, but definitely Walmart was, like, the one that I went to a lot. You had choices. They had different demos, like, consoles that you can go and play, so you weren't just stuck to one. You can go to, like, "Oh, I'm gonna go to the 64 and do a demo," or, "I'm gonna walk over here and go play the PS1 demos." Like, you had options, which was super cool, but yeah, you just have that crick in your neck, but it was so worth it. It's worth
Oh,
every crick in the neck or, you know, and
absolutely.
every strain on your eyeball to play those demos.
Definitely. Do you remember a game that you would always try to play and then ended up buying it?
Oh, man, I'm trying to think of what demos I played because I played so many. I
You know,
don't got a one just in my head right now, but, maybe later, but what about you?
man, I'm trying to remember the ones that I would buy, but I remember the one that always popped up, and this is the GameCube era. Everywhere you went, there was always Luigi's Mansion demo.
Mhm.
Every time. I mean, there was always one. I played that demo so many times. That was probably the most played. And then I played some of the PlayStation ones, but uh, I don't remember buying a lot of games honestly from the demo itself.
I
A
would
lot of the games that I wanted didn't necessarily have demos, or I'd play the demo and not really want to purchase the game.
I'm gonna say, actually, I think I thought of it. I think, but I feel it's the only way I would have known to play it. I think that might have been Beautiful Joe.
Oh yeah, it was.
I believe that
I
I
do remember
believe
that.
I kind of remember playing a demo
Yep.
and then being like, "This is actually really cool." And then I ended up getting the game and playing it or renting it. And it's such a fun game.
That's a great
Yeah,
game.
that
So underrated at the
Oh,
time
yeah.
too.
It's one of those games, I don't know if not many people know about that game, but it was a super fun game. You're like a this guy that gets powers or whatever, and you're like a superhero type person. And it was just really fun, super cool. Was it more of a, like, a side scroller type,
It was, yeah, it
or
was
was
a
it
2D side
3D?
scroller.
Yeah, I
That's
can't.
why I didn't get a lot of traction 'cause
Yeah.
I love the graphics, I love the gameplay,
Mhm.
amazing game, but that was the era of 3D adventures,
Mhm.
and they released this big title, but it was 2D, and it just didn't catch on as much as
Mhm.
a Super Mario Sunshine or
Oh,
games
yeah.
like Luigi's Mansion, games that you had more freedom and more movement,
Mhm.
but that game is phenomenal.
Oh,
That
yeah.
is a great game. I think you're the one who actually recommended me
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I did, I did. It's a great game, and I believe it has, like, you can slow down time, I think, or do, like, a slow-mo,
You
and
can.
then
Yeah.
you can, like, to beat up enemies, I definitely would use that to fight the bosses, and sometimes I would still end up not beating it, it'd take me multiple times. That game did get hard, but it's such a fun game, definitely underrated, but
It
great
is.
game. If you don't know about it, you can definitely YouTube it and kinda see what it's about, but that's a great game. Now, um
And I think they might have made a PS2 port, but I thought it was locked to the GameCube still, wasn't it?
I believe so, yeah, I think they made there's I think there was 2 of them made maybe, but yeah, it was definitely GameCube. I know that 100%, but
They did make a PS2 version.
okay, cool.
Yeah. I thought they did a little bit later, but yeah, great game.
Mhm.
If you get a chance to play it or if you have it, definitely play it.
Yeah.
Those games are going up in cost a
Oh,
lot
yeah.
right.
Yep.
They are massively rising, like
Mhm.
everything else that's good in
Oh, yeah.
the retro gaming scene, but
Yep.
great game if you haven't.
But,
Man, I'm
yeah,
trying to
well,
think of a greater way to transition to the next one, but I lost it. I was too involved in Beautiful Joe.
yeah, no, it's okay, it happens. It
I
happens.
mean, I'm just looking at this art right now. It's just, God, this is a gorgeous game. This
Yeah.
art is so awesome. It's kinda like a just imagine if 2000s decided to kind of make a comic with Japanese anime influences at the same
Mhm.
time. It Great art, great gameplay. I forgot it was a Capcom game too.
Oh, yeah, it
Mm,
is Capcom.
yeah.
I forgot. Yeah, super cool, and you're like I forgot, yeah, you're like a skater looking dude with a backwards hat
Oh, yeah.
or whatever, yeah.
It turns into that. Definitely the 2000s in a game.
Oh, yeah.
It's got it going everywhere on there.
Very much. As you said.
But, hey, when we're so back then, we're playing games, right?
Mhm.
And unfortunately, you can't just dedicate a whole day or 2 days or whatever to a game and just try to knock it out.
Mhm.
So, you had to save a game.
Yep.
You you definitely remember games where you weren't able to save and you had to do passwords.
Oh, yeah.
Ugh.
Gross.
Don't miss those at all. There's the problem. There's the problem one. All the others I want back. That not being able to save,
Horrible.
like, that's horrible. Like, doing those I didn't play a ton of SNES in that era, Genesis, and I know that's what a lot of it was, but I played a lot of Game Boy games,
Mhm.
and there was quite a few Game Boy games where you had to do the password system,
Oh, yeah.
and I hated it. It was I had to jot all these down, and I would lose the paper, and I couldn't really look it up because the internet didn't have all the information at the
Yep.
time. Just terrible.
Yeah, oh, yeah, no, it's terrible, like, and if you didn't do the password or, sometimes things just happen, everything's just gone. Like,
Yep.
all your hard work that you put into this game is just gone, and then you have to start over.
Do you have any horror stories about that?
I would say, oh, I actually think I believe playing Link's Awakening on my Game Boy, I think you could say, but I think something happened one time and it erased everything. I had to start over.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, and that's one of those games you don't wanna lose your stuff. But yeah, no, I've definitely had it, or, I'm playing a Sega game. Definitely like me, maybe Toy Story. I pause it and then, power goes out or the game it just freezes and there's
Yep.
nothing you can do, so you have to hit the dreaded reset button on
Ugh,
your console.
terrible.
And I just remember just, like, wanting to throw my controller against the wall, I wanna cry. It's like, when you're a kid, that's, like, the end of your world, like, my world was
Yeah,
destroyed at that point, like, I needed to go get some counseling after this. It
absolutely.
was
You
that
put
bad.
everything into that game, and then it's gone.
Yeah. So, that's definitely one of those things that I'm very thankful that today you can, like, save, you can, download or put it on, like, a cloud type storage thing, it's just like you can and then play the game anywhere. So definitely thankful for technology these days and how you're able to save your game and literally just pick it up from practically anywhere you are in the world. So
Oh, absolutely. Cloud saves is great. I'm not a big cloud fan, but cloud saves is awesome.
yeah.
I mean, I'm playing games right now where I can go between my Steam Deck and my PC, uh, and even my ROG Ally, which is a Windows-based machine, and play the same game and just pick it up
Hmm.
and play it on different consoles and different parts of my house or the world or wherever. So I love cloud saves. I do have one. I remember one issue where I accidentally saved over a save file.
Oh, I've definitely done that before.
Yeah, and it
Even in
was I
modern
remember it was
time.
Kingdom Hearts, and I was at a sleepover and we were playing, and we started a new game,
Hmm.
and we hit save, and I accidentally hit OK to erase my previous save file, which I
Hmm.
probably had, I don't know, 5 or 7 hours in at the time. So it wasn't crazy, but it was definitely like, "Oh, no, now I gotta go through all of this again."
Oh yeah.
Played the
It,
game before, the first game is a little slow in the beginning, especially with the island, the pallet town,
hmm.
so I had to go through all of that again and then get into the main game, but
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, that's horrible. I think all of us have as gamers have done something like that.
oh, definitely.
If you haven't, you're a lucky soul. I can't tell you. There's
That's
so
for
many
sure.
horror stories and quotations that have happened to me as a gamer. But I know you mentioned I believe that like old SNES and those consoles, which leads me
Yep,
to one that was kind of a thing. It was I don't know if it was fun, but it was just one of those things we did. And that was blowing in your cartridge until you're blue in the face and you just almost
yeah.
pass out.
Even though it says not to,
Yes,
still
to
did it
not
anyway.
yeah, because the moisture would go inside, and it's just not
Yeah,
good for the cartridge, but you did it anyways because it worked, and everyone and their mom did. It's just the thing that you did. So there was
but
that.
it worked.
It
If
worked.
it didn't work, you blew in it and put it back in, and it usually worked,
Yeah.
so why not?
And then sometimes what I would do is you get, like, your little Q-tip, and then it's like sometimes you just have to go into extreme measure. You might have to get, like, rubbing alcohol or something and
Oh,
just,
yeah.
like, rub the inside because 'cause you're trying to clean the dirt, even though the cartridge on the back, I believe, said, "Don't put any alcohol or any sort of liquid in the inside the cartridge," but it's just one of those things, you did it, and it worked. My
Hey, it
guy
worked.
yeah, so but then there was times you would
You are
blow
allowed to a little bit, but it's
Yeah,
gotta be 99%
yeah,
isopropyl alcohol.
yeah, so
Other than that, you're good. Don't
yeah,
be, like, trying to scrub it in the sink or anything.
yeah, don't
That's
do that, that's bad.
yeah, that's bad.
But, there were those times where you'd try blowing on it, you'd try the alcohol or whatever, and then there's just times where the game would not work, and it was just the cartridge was corrupt, and it was just
Yeah.
no good.
Oh, and you're blowing on that thing for
Oh, yeah.
feels like hours
Oh, yeah.
trying to get it working, and you just blow, 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 put it in, hit reset.
Mhm.
"Oh, no, the title screen blipped for a little bit, let me try it
Yep.
again." and then
Yep,
you blow, put it back in. You blow in the console, you put it in. Oh, I got past the title screen.
yep,
Okay, and then you
yep.
blow, and
Yeah, that false hope.
usually sometimes it'd work.
Sometimes, but yeah, that false hope sometimes. It's just like you see like that blip, you're like,
Uh,
"Oh, yes, we're making progress," and then
pull it back out and
yeah.
blow. Oh, yeah.
Or sometimes if you have your friend, you're like, "Hey, you blow on it," because maybe you have the right the touch. Because 'cause I'm not getting any luck, so you'll get your friend to do the exact same thing you were,
Oh, yeah.
just because you
And then
think
they'd actually have success with
yeah,
it.
and they have success. Sometimes you just need to have another person to make it work.
That's
Because
it.
there's been games
That's
where I've tried and
Oh, yeah.
nothing, and then, you're, like, days, and then your friend comes over, and you're like, "Hey, can you try fixing this? I need you to blow on it, do whatever you need to do to make it work," and they'll do it, like, their first try. So, I don't know.
Everyone's got their friend like, "Oh, I've got the touch," and they crack their knuckles, and they're like,
Oh,
"Okay, let's
yeah.
do it."
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
So, that was definitely one of those challenges that you don't have today.
Yeah. I and that's one, like, that's a pain. We
Yep.
still have some of those woes when it
Mhm.
comes to, like, scratch disk and fingerprints, but there's not much fixing that one.
Yep.
You get the little disk cleaners or whatever and
Yep.
try to scrub it out, but yeah, blowing in the cartridge. I still do it on my games. You're not supposed to. I
Oh,
know
yeah.
I'm more educated now, but even when I pop in a SNES or 64 game in, I still blow on it.
I'm a cartridge blower for life.
Hey,
It's
hey, that's it.
yeah.
That OG.
That OG.
And the OG CB.
Yep. Mm.
That's it, man. There's one other I want to touch on,
Yeah, go for
and
it.
this is one I'm definitely happy isn't a thing anymore,
Mhm.
and that's controllers with wires.
Disgusting.
I love wireless controllers.
Mhm.
Of everything we've talked about today, that might be my number one that I'm happy we've expanded on.
Oh, yeah. No, 100% I
'Cause
can
they I
confirm.
don't know who created the cable lengths on those things, and I get that, at the time, it was CRT TVs, they were in the 20 to 30-inch range, you didn't need to be sitting 8 to 10 feet back, I get it, but you'd be, like, fully straight up Indian style on the ground watching this TV, and probably causing issues that we have now with our cracking backs and everything,
Oh,
but
yeah.
and lifting up at the screen, but it's like a 3 or 4-foot cable, and then if you get excited or you get angry and you throw the controller, then it rips it out and again, save data could corrupt the game,
Yep.
could mess up the game, or if your friend did it or your sibling. There are so many issues with it. Wireless is
Mm.
by far the way to go.
Oh, yeah, no, 100%. There's that, and then also, HDMI wasn't a thing, so, you had those, radio frequency, the RF switch on
Oh yeah.
and then it only worked, I think maybe was it channel 2 and 3 or something like that? There's only 2 channels it would work
Channel
on.
3.
Yeah, and as a child, I would always struggle with that. I couldn't figure out how to get the game to work, so I'd get frustrated I remember when I was, like, where my at one of my mom cleaned houses, and so there's one house that she cleaned, in Vegas, and this is where my love for gaming started, where I first played my first console, but this guy had a SNES, and I would try to figure out how to play it, but I couldn't figure out how to get it on the TV, and it didn't, because I didn't know, so I'd get frustrated, and I'd have to get a grown up to help me to get the game console on. But when I got older, I figured it out. But it's just one of those things as well. It's just
There was a lot of steps. It
yeah, it's
wasn't
a lot
just
of
turn on
steps.
the
Yeah,
TV and turn on a console.
yeah,
There's a
yeah.
lot of steps to
There's a
gaming.
lot of things you got to do. Yeah, it's just like I said, not all of them were bad. There's some great, like going just to the movie rental place. I wish I could go back in time just for that and just sit
Definitely.
and bask in its glory.
That's probably of all the things I miss that we've talked about tonight.
Mhm.
That's probably my number one.
Which I know Blockbuster is, I guess, making a comeback. You can go on their website now. That's actually
Yeah,
getting active because I know you told me that it's working. I went. It's there.
it is.
So
It is there.
I'm curious to
It
see, like,
just it won't be a return to form, unfortunately.
yeah, no,
That era is past. There's too much when it comes to digital nowadays.
mm-hmm,
But we can always look back on it
yep,
and think of all the fun times we had and all the hard decisions we had to make.
yep,
They thought it was the most trivial decision you had to make at 6 p.m. on a Friday
mm-hmm,
on figuring out what game you were going to play over the weekend.
oh yeah,
It
yeah.
was
Those
difficult,
just
but someone had to do it.
someone had to do it. But we were the ones that did it, and I miss it so much.
Yep.
But you know, it's okay. I'm hoping that'd be awesome if Blockbuster they just like make the place smell like they had,
Oh yeah.
that OG smell that I was talking about earlier. I would
Gotta have it.
I would go in there and just sit in there. I wouldn't buy anything or rent anything. I don't know, and I would just sit there and just taking the
Yeah, you might
smells.
you might get kicked out for
I
that,
might.
but
Yeah.
yeah, that's okay. It's worth it. It's worth it.
Oh yeah. It's okay, totally worth it. But I don't know, I covered quite a bit of odd gaming trends.
Absolutely. I think those are some phenomenal odd gaming trends
Mm,
that we've touched on today, and some that I'm definitely extremely nostalgic for. I'm
yep.
hoping some of y'all listening have the same nostalgia for it, and maybe even some others that you either are glad aren't a thing anymore, or some different things that you miss
Mm,
that we didn't even think of because
yep,
everyone's had a different life when it comes to growing up and a different time when it
yep.
comes to gaming. So that's kind of the fun of it.
Yeah.
Man, I think we're out of time for today,
Oh,
so I'll go bask in my nostalgia somewhere
yeah.
else besides this podcast.
Yep.
So but
But,
again, like we were saying at the beginning, definitely stay tuned for some amazing announcements we have planned for
yes.
the rest of the year. We have some really cool things planned, some great stuff to get y'all
Mhm.
in the community excited. Start to kind of build up a little bit of a culture there as well. But we got some really, really cool ideas coming up.
Oh,
So
yeah.
definitely stay tuned. Definitely follow us on Instagram, Odd Gaming Media. We're going to start probably next few weeks posting some of the podcasts and some different little shorts and everything on YouTube as well.
Yep.
There'll be Odd Gaming Media there also. So definitely take a look there. Always stay tuned every Wednesday, 10 a.m. Central Time. We're going to be posting our episodes. So definitely always look
Yep.
forward to those on all
And
your major podcast platforms.
yeah, and then also, we'll put it on the Instagram just for the retro gamers. What was some of those trends that you liked or disliked from
Yeah.
growing up in the 90s era? So let us know. We'd love to know what it was, because there's lots of great things about the 90s growing up as gamers, and as we mentioned, there's some that weren't great, but a majority of them were just awesome, and I miss it. But like you said, there's a few that I'm glad, like as you mentioned, wireless controls are are amazing.
Yeah, I don't like the wires.
Yeah.
Anytime I pull my retro consoles now, I'll go and on Amazon buy a cheap wireless NES controller or PS2 controller or whatever, just so I don't have to do the wires.
Yep.
I mean, I've spoiled myself with the wireless controllers. It's
Mhm.
definitely the I'd say the biggest improvement
Oh
when it
yeah.
comes to the activity of playing the game.
Yep.
But man, this has been a fun episode. I'm
Uh,
glad to be back. We've talked about a ton of awesome
oh
games,
yeah.
a ton of really cool retro nostalgic content that we thought of from back in the day that we miss and don't miss. But man, that's what we do here at Odd Gaming. We talk about nostalgia, we talk about new stuff, we talk about amazing games. But at the end of the day, we talk about games. That's
Yep.
what we love. That's something that's been a passion of ours since we were, old enough to play games up until now. We love it. That's what we're here for. Hopefully, y'all love it too.
Mhm.
Again, definitely hit us up on the Instagram. Uh, say hi. Give us some ideas. Definitely, we're
Yeah.
going to be posting more on there, like Ed was saying. So definitely tell us some of the things that you miss or don't miss about
Mhm.
the retro gaming days back in the day. We'd love to hear it.
Yep. But as always, you guys have a great night. We love you guys. You guys are awesome. So thank you for listening and just joining us on our journey of gaming and talking about gaming. But my name's Ed and Stuart, and with that, you guys have a great day and peace out.
Peace out. Game on.